There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. We just got the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. We've learned that this Kang the Conqueror will be the one that they fight in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty, and why he needs Ant-Man's help if he's so powerful. It's because he was trapped in the quantum realm and he's trying to escape. So I'll explain why he was trapped and how that's going to affect the rest of Marvel Phase 5, Marvel Phase 6. Because obviously he has very big plans for the entire multiverse, all of reality. We're going to be getting a bunch of Marvel trailers really soon too, so if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're also getting the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer pretty soon as well. But during the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Ant-Man has been living with his family happily since the end of Avengers Endgame. Of all the Avengers, all the heroes we've seen in Endgame, he seems like his life has been the happiest of all of them. Like Black Panther just died, Falcon can't get a bank loan, the Eternals just got a Celestial stuck in the Indian Ocean. Bad things have been happening to all of them. But Ant-Man got famous, not that famous because they have the jokes about people confusing him for Spider-Man, who's a much more famous character. He wrote a bestseller book, he's been hobnobbing with celebrities at big premieres, his life with Hope Van Dyne, his daughter Cassie Lang seems like it's been going great. Cassie's supposed to be a chip off the old block and getting herself into all kinds of trouble without realizing it. She creates a special distress beacon, thinking she's going to help people with potential rescues using the quantum realm itself, quantum energy. And in the trailer, we see her open a gateway to the quantum realm when she turns it on, and all of a sudden Janet Van Dyne does a 180 from happy grandma enjoying her time back with her family, her quiet life, flips out, turn it off now. And we have that scene in the trailer that I included at the beginning of the video here where she comes clean with Hope Van Dyne because they all get separated when they get sucked into the quantum realm by Kang. It was Kang that sucked them in. She says there's something that she never told them about her time being stuck in the quantum realm. Remember, she was stuck down there for over 30 years. The critical pieces of information she never told Hank Pym or Ant-Man was first about the threat of Kang the Conqueror just in general, like there's a super dangerous master of time living down there, let's not let him out. And second, she never told them that she used to be Kang's partner, not in crime. She wasn't his partner in crime, she just worked with him before she knew what his true plan was. Remember, she's supposed to be a genius engineer, too. She spent 30 plus years down there trying to find a way to escape. The only way she eventually made it out was when Hank Pym and Ant-Man opened a portal down there and some signals, and she was able to randomly pick up on that signal. And she even said it was a 1 in a million shot that she detected their signal to begin with. But the idea was that Hank Pym had not been spending all these years going down to the quantum realm, like he'd only just started doing that recently. Otherwise, he might have found her and might have found Kang the Conqueror much sooner. The way the quantum realm exists relative to the rest of the multiverse, all of reality, sort of protects it from a lot of the larger goings-on. So for instance, the snap did not affect what happened in the quantum realm, but what had happened is back in the 1980s, Janet Van Dyne got stuck down there during her accident to stop the missile. During her time down there, she finds the quantum city, she meets all these alien cultures that are living down there. She calls it an entire universe that lives down at that level, but the way it exists is a little bit different, like it's one quantum realm for infinite universes. It's kind of like a substrate that connects to the entire multiverse, which is why it's so important for Kang. While she's down there, Janet Van Dyne meets other human, Nathaniel Richards, who she doesn't know is Kang the Conqueror. She just thinks that it's Nathaniel Richards, like this other human that got trapped down there. Remember, he was born a human of Earth in the distant future. His real name is Nathaniel Richards. He's biologically related to Reed Richards. Distantly related, but still related. So a couple of geniuses working together to try and escape until she eventually learns what his real plan is. Like, oh, you're this dangerous person who's trying to conquer all of reality. What had happened with this version of Kang is that he went through a version of the Kang Multiverse War, and they were doing a larger version of what Thanos was doing during his arc, trying to balance the universe by going around planet by planet one at a time, the slow way, until eventually he gets the Infinity Gauntlet and he's able to balance the entire universe with one snap of his fingers. The Kang Multiverse War is basically the same thing, with Kangs going around balancing each universe, each timeline, one at a time, the slow way. This Kang the Conqueror variant wanted to use the quantum realm as his sort of Infinity Gauntlet solution to speed everything up, like the one ring of power in the Lord of the Rings. One ring to rule them all, one universe to rule them all. So she's been working with Kang the Conqueror. They've been building this time travel platform from the comics, which is basically what this is, like it's a version of his time travel platform that he uses to control time. While that's happening, she eventually learns the truth about what his plans are and bolts on him and cripples his ability to escape. Just as that's happening, she detects Hank Pym's signal and is able to use that to escape before he's able to track her down. But in the time since that, Kang has developed countermeasures for that, which is what happens here when he detects Cassie Lang's signal and pinpoints them, pulling them into the quantum realm and capturing Cassie Lang to force Ant-Man to help him. The reason why he needs Ant-Man specifically, because he's supposed to be so powerful, why would he need someone like Ant-Man to help him? He's missing a critical piece of his time travel platform from the comics, and basically that's what this is, this giant source of energy that you see him running towards. It seems like it's some special kind of quantum energy, like not just regular quantum energy, because Hank Pym uses that in his Pym particles. It's very common down here. Kang wouldn't be trapped if that was the only thing that he needed. It almost seems like it's the wreckage of one of Kang's previous attempts, like it's the wreckage that landed him stuck in the quantum realm. And when that happened, there was some special reaction that went off that's causing this weird nexus of energy that he needs now to power his new time travel device to escape, where you see all these Ant-Man variants running towards each other, some of them dying in the process. Like, these are all meant to be different variants of Ant-Man who seem like they're being killed as they run towards this. Because in all this later footage, you see the same red energy when they're standing inside what looks like the wreckage of a ship. Because a lot of this seems like the same technology that you see Ant-Man walking around in that's not broken. And the reason why Kang is making Ant-Man do this by holding Cassie Lang hostage is because he would go through the same thing if he tried to do it himself, so he just wants to get a patsy to do it for him. The whole idea is that Ant-Man is disposable, like there's the joke in the trailer where he says, "Have I killed you before?" Like he's killed multiple variants of Ant-Man before, like it's no big deal, like, "Oh, I've killed a bunch of Avengers." Because he's been stuck down here for so long, he's also probably tried to have other beings in the quantum realm do this for him unsuccessfully, and only Ant-Man has the skills needed to do whatever it is that he wants. The other big teaser for Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty here is when he says he's an Avenger and Kang asks if he's killed him before, it's because he's already conquered other timelines before he got stuck in the quantum realm. He's already conquered other universes, so he's already fought and killed multiple versions of the Avengers teams. Remember, this isn't supposed to be Kang the Conqueror at the beginning of his attempt to conquer reality. This is like the middle of his journey after he decides to work smarter, not harder. Like, oh, I could go balance the entire multiverse, one universe, one timeline at a time. Or there's a faster way to do it. Why don't we just use the quantum realm? And that's when he gets stuck down there. So the idea is that this is the version of Kang that they'll face in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. Like, he will escape at the end of the movie, and he'll be able to enact his plan to collapse all of reality and control it the same way that He Who Remains was doing, just in a slightly different way. With He Who Remains, there was this broad definition of the timeline, but there were a couple variants within that timeline. There were a couple other universes, so there was a version of the multiverse, but it was a much smaller subset of the multiverse, where the different universes didn't contain dangerous variants of Kang. The version of the multiverse that they unleash at the end of the Loki series is like the full true multiverse, infinite universes with infinite versions of Kang. So that's why I think at the end of this movie, it'll have that special tag that they have at the end of Marvel movies, so-and-so will return. At the end of this movie, it will say Kang will return, and he will return in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. And if it wasn't clear, this version of Kang came after the He Who Remains version of Kang was killed and freed when all the other timelines, all the other possibilities of Kang rose up across the multiverse. So even though he's been trapped in the quantum realm for many, many years, when the events of the movie pick up, technically he was born in the future of the current timeline and then came back. It's just that the current timeline is a rebooted version that came after Sylvie killed He Who Remains. So technically, most of the movies we've been watching in Marvel Phase 4 have been part of that rebooted version of the timeline. The way they talk about the sacred timeline, like the version that He Who Remains controlled, that includes all the movies that took place during the Infinity Saga, all the way up to Avengers Endgame. We'll be getting Loki Season 2 episodes next year, so we'll talk more about this when those episodes drop. There'll be a lot of Kang back and forth between the version of Kang that we see on that series and this version of Kang the Conqueror. Now, Kang isn't the only villain in the movie. Bill Murray is also billed as one of the main characters in the film, and he's supposed to be playing a version of Krylar, who's also one of the villains. He's a super deep cut from the comics, and he's not human in the comics, but they might have changed that for the movie so that Bill Murray doesn't have to walk around in a bunch of makeup. He also wants to dominate like Kang the Conqueror if given a chance, and he's supposed to be the person who's responsible for turning Corey Stoll's Darren Cross into the MCU version of MODOK, who looks like this. At the end of the first Ant-Man movie, he didn't die. He was also sucked into the quantum realm, where Bill Murray's character turned him into MODOK, and it's a bit of the comic book MODOK arc. The difference in the comics is that AIM turned a regular human into MODOK, but obviously they're doing it for Darren Cross in this movie. We'll get a new trailer for this really soon with a bunch more footage and clues about what's going on. Of course, I'll do a video for it. If you have any big questions that I didn't address in this video, like what's going on with Kang, just write them below in the comments. I think we're supposed to be getting that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer next week or really soon too. I think it'll be a larger version of the trailer that we got at Comic-Con. I've already done a much bigger video for that trailer. You can click here to watch that, and click here for my new Deadpool 3 trailer video and learn how the TVA, more Kang-Loki connections, are going to be showing up during Deadpool 3. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.